Welcome, everyone. This is the National Veterans Chamber Real Estate Radio Show. And today we have our host, Deborah Kemp, who is going to be introducing our guest, Gina Sharp, who will be talking and sharing some information for all of you who are interested in VA products, VA home loan products, home buying products. The National Veterans Chamber of Commerce is not a real estate agency, and we're not participating in the process at all. Our job and our role in this is to bring together military families and veterans who can meet veteran-friendly, military-friendly real estate agents to help them deal with the knowledge and the process of getting their home. And that's our goal, is to increase home ownership among veterans and military families, as we feel owning a home is the foundation, or is a foundation for more stable family. So that's what we want to see: more stable families, more stable communities. And with that, again, I would like to welcome you to our show. And Deborah, please introduce our guest.
She's our guest today from Southern California. So, Gina, can you tell us a little bit about your real estate background?
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on, guys, first of all. So I have been selling real estate in Southern California for about 2.5 years now, but I've been in the industry over 15 years, which most of that was in Arizona. Now, I still buy and sell in both those states, because why not? It's just a quick little drive across the desert. And I'm not sure. I got into it because of flexibility. That's why I started in the industry. And it's way more than just looking at HGTV, let's put it that way. So I found that the technical side was interesting, and genuinely helping people start building some equity was really advantageous. So that's why. But yeah, about 15 years now. Crazy.
I know, time flies, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, that's great to know that you also work in Arizona. We have a chamber chapter in Arizona, so I'm happy to work with you there. But my question, if I may, is what did you want to become a VA certified agent, a veteran friendly agent?
So, I think, obviously we want to be able to help everybody, but veterans are a section of society, and depending upon which decade you're more familiar with, whether or not it was a more acceptable career path. But these are people who, they give their lives, they give their livelihoods, they're 110% in. There is no not feeling good some days. When you're on. And it's a section of society who maybe, why would they know anything about how to purchase a house? So we need to be able to step in and help, and not handhold. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about each step, educating people. Slightly different with a VA, as you may know, but principles are the same. But that is really, it's important. And I'm a huge proponent, obviously, of the services. I did not grow up here, as you may be able to tell. Some of us have little funny accents on this call, which is really nice. But I'm from Britain, and there was an army base near me. So I grew up with military guys anyway. I'm in San Diego base. I'm very near Camp Pendleton, which is mostly Marine. I know there's other branches there. And then we have the Navy down in the south part in the city of San Diego. But I know it's very concentrated here, as it is in places like North Carolina as well. But we're everywhere, and we need to be able to help people wherever they are as well. So I think that really, it comes from a position of wanting to help people is the main catalyst there. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And we thank you for that, because again, that's our goal, is to, like you said, help veterans, military families. We have no idea how things are working on the outside world, because
exactly.
Things that work in California, they work different. I was stationed in Alaska, which was totally different. So it's just, so having experts come together and kind of give us their input on how things work, extremely beneficial. So we thank you for that. Appreciate
Well,
it.
and I mean, and you're just talking even stateside. I mean, you think about it, how many Marines, for example, are stationed in Japan?
Correct.
Then they come back and they're like, okay, we've got to start our lives again. Yeah, it's helpful to have somebody who knows what they're doing and to help to guide them through the steps, not tell them where to live. I don't mean that, but once they've decided where, then to actually get dug in really deeply. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Different rules everywhere you are.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
Thank you.
Gina, now what percentage of vets have actually taken advantage of the VA program in Southern California?
So now I don't know the exact number, but I know, and this is shocking to be honest with you, is less than 10%. Less than 10%. That's ridiculous because the benefits are there for a reason, to help benefit veterans. And I think part of it is we don't know, right? I don't mean me, I'm sorry. Veterans don't know what they have available to them. And we really need to be educating because it's enormous. It's a real help for a purpose. You serve, you need to be able to get these benefits. But yeah, less than 10%, that's pretty low, right? I mean,
Yes, and you're right. It's very low on how many veterans take advantage of the VA. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Gina, educate us a little bit. What are the benefits to veterans as far as the VA loan program goes?
So I was going to say everybody knows, but they don't. So I'm not going to assume. But when you are eligible for a VA loan, you have a zero down. That doesn't mean you have zero money at close. You still have to have closing costs. And depending upon the market, the seller can contribute some of those. But that means you can have a zero down. So you hear a lot about in the marketplace, oh, what percentage down are you having? Well, you can do a zero down. Huge benefit, especially if you're new to the service or you've had different outlays. You haven't had an opportunity to save money because it can be really pricey. Southern California is one example of one of the highest priced markets right now for homes. So that is a major benefit. And then I think that you always can put money down, but you don't have to. So that opens it up to people to just be able to then get their closing cost money. And then you get off the rental track. So then you can start building some equity in your own home. And I always liken it, regardless of what kind of loans you get, to really being an incredible way to actually save money. So if you think about it, once you start building up equity, when you sell that house, whether it be to build another one, buy another one, upsize, downsize, or depending on your stage of life, if you're moving on to, just to travel around or something, you actually have monies in that home, which would you have saved that much money otherwise? I mean, we can be disciplined, but it's hard to save that much money. So just to get started on that ladder, as it were, is huge. I have kids in their 20s. One has a house. We're working on the other one to get a house, just to start that progress. Because like I said, it's a really good system of saving money. You've always got to have a roof over your head. And you're either paying somebody else's mortgage or your own. So why not do your own? That's probably the biggest thing, zero down.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
Mm-hmm.
true. In your
Mm-hmm.
opinion, Gina, is the VA loan program, how do you compare it with conventional or FHA? Do you feel that the VA program is the #1 loan program available?
So it's phenomenal because of mortgage insurance. You don't have to pay the mortgage insurance. So I'm not going to bag on either one because they're all good loans for different people, but you have to have 20% down to get rid of mortgage insurance on any other kind of loan, which is why you definitely hear in the marketplace, oh, you've got to have 20% down, otherwise you pay mortgage insurance. And it may not be an astronomical amount, but a couple $100 a month to me is a lot of money, right? So if you don't have to pay that with a VA loan, because it's government backed, you do not have to pay the mortgage insurance. It is guaranteed. So that is a huge advantage. And I think probably one of the biggest ones. Yeah. And you can always transfer it, but why would you need to? A VA is a very, very good loan for veterans.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point, Jean. Now, are there tax advantages that you know about? I know you're not a CPA or anything, but as far as home ownership versus renting.
So it's funny because we're both realtors. The first thing we said, speak to your accountant, and I do that because
this is just in general. In general, not specific.
In general, I was going to say because I do own my own house, but I'm also a realtor.
Yeah.
But yes, there are tax advantages compared to renting. With renting, it's just an outlay every month. Now, I also remember from the fall in the housing market, 06, 07, 08, which I know some people who are listening to this were too young, but yes, there were definitely disadvantages. And if you could just rent somewhere, you just pay your rent and you can walk away. But there are zero tax advantages. When you own a home, you definitely have some amount of write-off, which who doesn't want that? I don't know. I mean, nobody wants to pay taxes more than they have to. I mean, I pay my fair share and I love having my public library and all that kind of stuff. So I don't resent it, but we definitely want to take advantage of that. With a rental, you have no tax advantage. And I use a portion of my house for my business as well. So you can do all of that. You know, you have a section and it's done with percentages. Again, talk to your CPA, which is what we definitely do. And I file because I earn in 2 states. I mean, it's an absolute advantage. And that's what it's there for. It's there to help people. Mm-hmm. It's not there to make us crazy, even though I think most of us do. And as I'm thinking this, it's already the middle of March. I'm like, okay, tax day is creeping up on us. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest ones that we do use as a deduction is our home. So absolutely, there are advantages. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Gina. I think that's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very good point. Now, do you have any stories you can tell us about veterans that have purchased homes through you?
Oh, I got so many stories. It's the best thing, isn't it? You know, when you work in real estate, you start and you get to know the people, whether it's the buy or the sell side. We're talking predominantly the buy side here. And you get to know whether it's a single or a couple or a family. And then it's all paperwork. It's just like the mire of the paperwork. And then you're just talking to the lender and the title and the escrow constantly. And so you're in that. But then at the end of the game, you're like, oh yeah, you get to do the warm fuzzy. And I have to say that a young family who, and I do have a couple examples of this, but it's like when you hand over the keys, it's monumental. It's such a huge thing. And I know it's so cliched, the American dream, but it's true. It is so important. And what Joe was saying about community, that is one of my biggest hot buttons. Because we do need to know our neighbors and we do need to link arms and we do need to encourage neighborhood events and just security. And just, I mean, I raised my kids in a neighborhood where, you know, everybody knew everybody on the street and my kids knew who they could go to, which was pretty much anybody. If anything happened, which it didn't, I'm grateful, but that's not the point. But handing over the keys to a young family when it's their first home is really special. And it's irreplaceable because obviously their first home will be their first home forever. You're not gonna be able to duplicate that. But it's a sense of accomplishment and achievement and something that they can take care of. And especially in this case that I'm talking about was a couple with young kids. Their kids have a little back garden now. There's neighborhood kids. It is incredibly emotional. I'm a feeler rather than a judger, you know, as far as on those scales. So for me, the feely, touchy part of it, it's so exciting. And that's what sometimes, because I'm not necessarily the most analytical person, when I'm in the midst of the transaction where sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, can something go right? You just think, okay, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Because it's not about me, it's about them and helping them get started with their little families in their lives, in these amazing communities that they're starting to build.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I know recently I sold a vet. He was actually disabled, but he had been a Marine for 30 years and he just bought his first home.
Wow.
And it was so exciting. Yeah.
Right?
So exciting. Yeah. After serving our country for all those years.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was probably moved around as well. Exactly. So he never really could put down roots. So,
Exactly.
yes.
And then he bought his first home. So it was
Oh.
amazing, like you said.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. So
Mhm.
now, what
Mhm.
areas of Southern California, Gina, do you specialize in? Which areas?
So I mean, I can sell anywhere in California. I refer out in Northern California, predominantly do North Coast. So, you know, Carlsbad, Encinitas, Oceanside, which is where I live, Vista,
good.
San Marcos. San Marcos, actually, their schools are phenomenal. They've done an amazing job picking that whole area up. So yeah, North County, San Diego is my main area. But like I said, I've got a client looking in Rancho San Diego right now. So I'm all over.
Right, right. Okay, well, that's very, very good to know. And then, Joe, did you want to add anything before Gina tells people where they can reach her?
Yes, actually, I do have something. Like we were talking about the first-time home buyers for veterans. Now, at which time is can a veteran who used VA loan can purchase another home?
Oh, well, they just can only use their VA one. So they could sell the house, or they can refinance that house to a conventional, and then they can use their VA benefits again. Yeah. Okay. So that's true, actually. That isn't necessarily widespread knowledge anywhere. But that actually is well worth it, because if somebody wants to get into a place and then use that as an investment property, and they already have, it doesn't matter, but at 20% would be better, they refinance that to a conventional loan, then their VA is freed up again. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would they be able to use their VA benefit again, or they can only use it one time?
No, they can use it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yep.
And that's that's knowledge that is not really available out there.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, it's an incredible loan. I mean, it really is. I mean, say what you will about the government, good, bad, and ugly, but the GI Bill and then the VA loan, these are phenomenal, right? I mean, absolutely. And people should take advantage of it. They really should, even if they don't feel like they need the education, or they should use it. I mean, I had a young couple, I hope it's okay to keep going on. Anyway, they're both Navy. They bought a condo down in Chula Vista, that they don't even know how long they're going to be here, because they're young and they're pretty sure they're going to be shipped out somewhere. But they don't care. They're like, we've got that, and we can keep that. They can rent it for the year they're wherever they are based. They've got a home to come back to, because this is home. That I should say that they wanted to stay here. But absolutely. And again, they were back in school, increasing their education. So I agree with you. It's education. And I don't know why some of these young lads don't just immediately think, why don't I buy a house? I mean, it just makes perfect sense. Then you always have that, whether or not to sell or to come back to.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we created, and start getting involved into this program, which initially the whole program is called the Housing for Heroes for that particular reason, because of the low involvement of veterans and military families into home ownership. And so that's how we got connected with Deborah, connected with Dan, because real estate agents is a community as well. Thank you.
Okay, so Gina, how can people reach you?
Okay, so 480-440-7436, or my email, which that's fine. I mean, I'm good with either, whatever, but my first name, so Gina, Gina, JK, the number 10 @gmail.
Thank you, Gina.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
And great interview, Deborah, and tons of information. And I also want to say thank you to Jimmy. He's behind the scenes helping us make sure that this happens correctly. So want to thank you, all of you, and also thank our audience for participating in this informational session about buying a home using a VA product, or one of the VA benefits that we as veterans or as military families should take advantage of. So till next time, if you have any questions, please let us know through our website, and we can bring those questions to the show. But for now, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.